Imagine walking into a store, excited to shop, only to be met with suspicion instead of kindness. That's exactly what happened to a young black couple during what should have been a normal day. The store owner, fueled by baseless assumptions, accuses them of stealing. Voices rise, tensions flare, and customers freeze as the shocking confrontation unfolds. But here's the twist. What happens next is something no one in that store could have predicted. A moment of prejudice spirals into a scene that will leave you questioning everything. Stay tuned to see how this couple handles the injustice and how this story takes a turn that leaves everyone speechless. This isn't just a story about accusations. It's about resilience, unexpected allies, and the ripple effects of one powerful act. You don't want to miss how it all ends. The couple had only come in to grab a few essentials, a quick stop on their way to a family gathering. They walked through the aisles, laughing and chatting, completely unaware of the judgmental eyes following their every move. The store owner, a middle-aged man with a stern expression, watched from behind the counter. His gaze lingered on the couple longer than it should have, his mind jumping to conclusions that had no basis in reality. As they approached the register, the atmosphere grew tense. The owner stepped forward, his tone sharp and accusing. "Empty your pockets," he demanded, loud enough for everyone in the store to hear. The couple froze, their smiles fading into disbelief. Other shoppers began to whisper, their eyes darting between the owner and the couple. The young man tried to explain, his voice calm but firm, while the woman looked around, silently pleading for someone to intervene. The store fell silent as the owner's accusation hung in the air. The young man took a deep breath, steadying himself before replying. "We haven't taken anything," he said, his voice calm but edged with frustration. "You're mistaken. The owner wasn't having it." "I saw you," he snapped, pointing at the woman's purse. "You've got something in there. Show me." The woman's hands trembled as she clutched her bag. She looked at her partner, unsure whether to comply or stand her ground. The other customers watched, some with curiosity, others with unease. One older woman in the corner frowned, clearly uncomfortable with what was unfolding, but she said nothing. The tension grew thicker with each passing second. The young man, now visibly angry, asked, "Why are you targeting us? We didn't do anything wrong." The owner ignored the question, doubling down on his demand. Meanwhile, an employee in the back of the store quietly pulled out their phone, recording the confrontation. The air in the store was electric, thick with tension as the confrontation escalated. The young man clenched his fists, trying to keep his composure. "We're not thieves," he said firmly, his voice carrying an edge of hurt. "Why are you treating us like this?" The store owner, now raising his voice, gestured wildly toward the couple. "If you're innocent, then prove it. Show me what's in the bag." The woman's hands shook as she unzipped her purse, pulling it open to reveal nothing but her wallet and a few personal items. "Satisfied?" she asked, her voice cracking with emotion. But instead of apologizing, the owner doubled down. "You must have hidden it somewhere," he shouted, his face flushed with anger. By now, the recording employee had stepped closer, capturing every word. A man near the shelves muttered under his breath, "This isn't right." Another customer, a young woman, finally spoke up. "Why are you only accusing them? They haven't done anything." Her voice cut through the chaos like a blade, forcing everyone to pause. The owner hesitated for a moment, but then, as if to solidify his stance, he reached for the phone behind the counter. "I'm calling the police," he said, his voice cold and unwavering. Gasps rippled through the crowd as the couple exchanged a glance, equal parts fear and disbelief. The young man took a step forward, his voice rising. "You're doing this because of what we look like, aren't you?" The silence that followed was deafening. All eyes were on the store owner, whose expression faltered ever so slightly. The tension had reached its peak, and everyone was waiting for what would happen next. Would someone step in, or would this situation spiral even further? Before the store owner could finish dialing, a deep voice interrupted. "Put the phone down." Everyone turned to see an older man stepping forward, his face calm, but his eyes sharp with authority. He had been browsing in the back, unnoticed until now. "I've been here the whole time," he said, his voice steady. "They didn't take anything." The owner hesitated, clearly caught off guard. "How can you be so sure?" he asked defensively. The older man, now standing between the couple and the counter, folded his arms. "Because I saw them. They were minding their business, just like the rest of us. You've been watching them for no reason." The couple exchanged a glance of relief, but the store owner wasn't backing down. "You didn't see everything," he argued, his voice trembling slightly now. "And this is my store. I have every right to protect it." The older man raised an eyebrow. "Protect it from what? Your own assumptions?" The tension in the room was palpable as the owner faltered, his bravado starting to crumble. But just as it seemed the situation might de-escalate, the door burst open, and 2 police officers stepped inside. A bystander had called them after overhearing the argument. The couple froze, the young man's jaw tightening as one officer asked, "What's going on here?" The store owner stepped forward quickly, pointing at the couple. "They're trying to steal. I caught them in the act." The crowd stirred uneasily, and the older man shook his head, stepping closer to the officers. "That's not true," he said firmly. "This is a misunderstanding, or worse, an abuse of power." The officers glanced at the couple, then at the crowd. Phones were out now, recording every second. The couple's fate seemed to hang in the balance, the tension in the room reaching a fever pitch. Everyone was waiting to see what the officers would do next. One of the officers raised his hand, signaling for quiet as he addressed the store owner. "Sir, let's take this step by step. Do you have any evidence that they stole something?" The owner stammered, gesturing vaguely at the couple. I saw them acting suspiciously, and I know they took something." The officer turned to the couple, his tone calm but firm. "Do you mind if we check the security cameras to clear this up?" The young man nodded immediately, his voice steady despite the tension. "Please do. We've got nothing to hide." The older man spoke up again. "I saw the whole thing, and so did others here. They've done nothing wrong. Check the footage, and you'll see." His words carried weight, and a few other customers began to murmur their agreement. Reluctantly, the store owner led the officers to the back office to review the footage. The couple stood silently, the woman clutching her partner's hand. Minutes felt like hours as the crowd waited, the tension in the store thick enough to cut with a knife. Finally, the officers returned. One of them looked directly at the owner and said, "We reviewed the footage. There's no evidence of theft. In fact, it clearly shows the couple shopping normally the entire time." Gasps rippled through the crowd as the officer continued, his tone stern. "Accusing someone without proof can have serious consequences, sir. This could have gone very differently." The owner's face turned pale, and he stammered an apology to the couple. But before he could finish, the young woman, still visibly shaken, spoke up. "You didn't just accuse us. You humiliated us in front of everyone here because of your assumptions. That's not something you can take back with a simple sorry." The officer nodded in agreement and handed the couple a card. "If you'd like to file a formal complaint, here's how to do it." The older man, now standing beside them, added, "I'll be a witness if you need one." As the couple turned to leave, another twist unfolded. The employee who had been recording stepped forward and announced, "I sent the video to corporate. This isn't the first time he's done something like this." The crowd murmured again, this time in anger directed at the owner. Outside, the couple took a deep breath, still processing what had just happened. They looked at each other, grateful for the support of strangers who had stood up for what was right. It wasn't the outcome the store owner had expected, but it was the one he deserved. As the couple walked out of the store, they felt a mix of emotions: relief, anger, and gratitude. What started as an ordinary shopping trip had turned into a painful experience they wouldn't soon forget. But the support from strangers reminded them that even in moments of injustice, there are people willing to stand up for what's right. Inside the store, the owner was left to face the consequences of his actions. Corporate would undoubtedly review the incident, And with video evidence circulating, change felt inevitable. Customers who had witnessed the scene left with a renewed sense of awareness about the power of assumptions and how they can harm others. The couple, though shaken, knew this moment had revealed something bigger. They didn't just walk away as victims, they walked away empowered, determined to share their story and shine a light on the importance of accountability and standing together against prejudice.